Alright, hey guys, Ditch here. This is the reassembly video for the M4 Gen 8 Jinmin Gel Blaster. So we're pretty much continuing on from the first video, and the way we want to start this off is getting the back half of the receiver here and putting this bad boy in there. So we want to put the gearbox back in. And there's two things you kind of want to line this up with. So here, there's a little pole here. This will line up with this ring here. And that will pretty much slide into there. And if you get that right, pretty much the rest of it should be right. Alright, mine is in place now, or it's not. Alright, you might need to push in on it on the front and the back here, just in case. Now there is one thing you do not want to lose, is this little nut here. It goes here, and that pretty much enables you to screw in the top rail, which without it you cannot. And I thought I lost it at one point, but it was on my motor. So if you do lose this, check your motor, see if it's magnetized, because motors are magnets. And you want to put this little bad boy in that slot there. So first thing you want to do is put this screw back in place for the gearbox. So you want to grab your Phillips head screwdriver, screw it in just like that. So yeah, make sure it's tight in there and everything else is good. So the first thing you want to do is worry about these wires. Now the red one is the far one from the trigger. Put that in place, and I just like to tuck it down a little bit. Just tuck it in, and the black one is closest. So the black one's kind of a bit short, so yeah, just shortest here. So you want to slide that into place there, and make sure the wires aren't covering this hole here, as that is for the mag release. So make sure they're not in the way. Just tuck them in, and then up here, you want to tuck these wires just in the gap between the gearbox and the buffer tube adapter here, just away in there, so, and make sure they're hanging out, and it's pretty easy. So now we want to put the charging handle in. So this has a spring, and the spring hooks on right there. I flip it around this way, and then the spring, this circle here, will attach onto this little hook, and you want to kind of hold it down. It's kind of a bit tricky. Hold it down in place there and pull the charging handle back and slide it in that little spot there. And make sure it's nice in well. And then you want to plop this thing back on. Just make sure everything's in place. Make sure this little bit is in there. Springs on well, all there is in nice spots, and got nothing to worry about. Now we want to put this back. So you put it in the reverse way we took it off. Pull the charging handle back. This is a little bit finicky, and then you just slide it on. Now you may have to just click some things into place by squeezing, but otherwise you should be fine with some tightening of the screws. Now, I like to do these screws first. So I like to do my Allen keys. So I'll tighten up the Allen keys for you. Make sure the charging handle is in alright, which mine is, okay. I like to do like the opposites, so you do it all right. So I do them. Make sure all of these are done up well. So you've got your 5 Allen key screws. Don't have to do them up ultra tight, just make sure they're tight enough to get this thing pretty sealed. You don't want this being, the gel blaster body being loose and having wobble, and you want all the little seams and stuff to be pretty much sealed up. And last one here. As you can see, I hope you can see, the body's closed up. So the seams along here are all nice and closed. Now you grab your Phillips head again, and you want to put in this one here. Tighten that bad boy up till the bottom of the trigger guard is closed. You're going to grab your thin one, which is here, put that in there, screw that one in all the way, This one's a bit tough. Make sure that mag well's pretty much closed. You see the gap there. And then the last part for here is the mag release. Now this is a little bit tricky. You want to put the mag release in. So if we flip this over, I'm going to put that in like so, and hold it there with your finger. I like to hold it with my middle finger here and my thumb over here. I've got long fingers, so this is easy for me. I don't know about you other guys. So yeah, I like to put the mag release button thing here and grab with my other hand the Phillips head screwdriver and kind of push it down and then screw it in. And the screw should pretty much catch hold of it, and as I was saying, should catch hold of it and you'll be good to go. So just screw that in. Doesn't have to be ultra tight, no, actually tighten it up because it's the main thing. Test if it works, push that in and should be good. Now for the grip. Now make sure you've got the weight in here. There's a weight in the bottom of the grip with a foam piece. I don't know if the foam piece matters, but I like to get both in there. So you whack that in, get the wires out of the way of the motor, and there's another knob here that lines up with this circle. So you just want to slide that in there, and you got to make sure these bits on opposite sides line in. Now make sure you've got all of the screws here. There's 5, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now slide them in, and then push it down a bit. Now watch out for the wires too, they could be in the way, so push them up kind of towards the motor. You just want to close that up, and if it's not fitting quite well, the screws will do the trick. So you're going to grab your Phillips head. I like to do the trigger guard first, it doesn't really matter, and tighten that up. Make sure the seams are pretty good on the trigger guard, and then go around. Doesn't matter which order you do them, just make sure they're nice and tight, and closed up the trigger guard, the handle I mean. Tighten all of them up, all the way. That's good, and I've got one more to go. And we are good. So here we are back with the receiver. Now a little test, just test with the safety around till you hear a big click, and then you should see if your safe works, which mine does, can't pull the trigger, and then if your auto and non-functioning semi works. So yeah, that's fine. That's the one thing you want to make sure is working, because the trigger, the safety switch makes sure it's lined up with the gearbox. If it's not, flip the gearbox over and you'll see it there to see if there's any problems. Now have a look, it should be fine. Pull that charging handle back to see. Yep, works. Alright, so now for the peripherals again. Oh, forgot the rail one more time. Now you just want to slide it in to here. There's a little knob at the end of it. Slide that in and push it down and screw it in. Now the screws at the end. Screw it in all the way and make sure that thing doesn't budge. Now, time for the other parts. So you want to grab your buffer tube. It doesn't matter which way you do this, but I grab my buffer tube first. Feed the wires right through it, just like you did when you first got the blaster, and twist it on. And then make sure the wire's just coming out the end there. And now for the handguard, slide it on. Make sure it goes through. Your barrel goes through the holes. And then line it up correctly with the grooves and push it all the way on and twist it. So there you go. Now for the battery, put the battery in first. Now connect those two little black connectors up just here. And go click, and I like to tuck my wires away just a little bit, and then whack the stock on. Yep, just like that. And you're pretty much ready to go. Back together, all good. Just do another test, see if the charging handle works fine. See if the safety works, so off safe and on safe, and all should be good. So there we go, the blaster is complete. So yeah, I put my mag back in and my foregrip and my sight. and my hop up back on, and everything should be fine. And yeah, do another double check, see if everything works, and your blaster should be good. So yeah, that was my disassembly and reassembly videos. Hopefully they were easy to follow and understandable. Stay tuned for more modding videos and stuff like that. Next one coming out is aluminum barrel and a spring. So I'll be upgrading to a red aluminum barrel and a 1.2 spring. So yep, stay tuned for new videos. And yeah, keep gel blasting. Ditch out.